Welcome to Your Best Self, where I share with you valuable contents and key lessons learned from books, articles, blogs, and many more. My hope is to inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Effortless by Greg McKeown. Growing up, I've always heard of these phrases: hard work pays off, no pain, no gain. As a result, this mentality of working hard is instilled in my mind since early childhood. That's what my parents and everyone else around me kept saying. If you want to get anywhere in life, you gotta put in the hard work. Always go the extra miles in everything you do. Up until this day, I still strongly believe in hard work to get what you want in life. However, my mindset has slightly shifted since picking up the book Effortless by Greg McKeown. The book offers a lot of valuable insights in the way we work and get things done. It will totally change your way of thinking about work. It changed mine. What if I tell you there's a way to get things done effortlessly and it yields better results without getting burnout? Effortless State. Many of us are mistakenly led to believe that trivial things are easy, important things are hard. As a result, we feel that if something is so important to us, it must be incredibly hard to achieve. It will take blood, sweat, and tears to get to the finish line. Sometimes, along the way, we subconsciously overcomplicate the whole process, believing that's how it's supposed to be for you to succeed. And oftentimes, we end up overexerting ourselves, working to the point of burnout and exhaustion, believing that it is the only way to get to where you want to be in life. For some, the idea of working less hard feels uncomfortable. We feel lazy, we fear we'll fall behind, we feel guilty for not going the extra mile each time. This mindset, conscious or not, may have its roots in the Puritan idea that the act of doing hard things always has inherent value. However, trying too hard makes it harder to get the results you want. Looking back at my life, I've realized that there were many instances where I failed or didn't achieve what I set out for myself, not because I didn't try hard enough. It was because I tried too hard. I put too much pressure on myself and ended up with worse results than I thought. McKeown said, "We are conditioned to believe that in order to overachieve, we must also overdo. As a result, we make things harder for ourselves than they need to be." Asking the question, "What if this could be easy?" is a way to reset our thinking. When we move away from the false assumption that the easier path has to be the inferior path, we free ourselves of all the burden imposed upon us and makes it easier to move towards the effortless state. Effortless action. How can we make essential work easier to do? You have probably heard about the law of diminishing returns from economics. Past a certain point, more effort doesn't lead to better performance. It will actually hurt our performance. The goal is to accomplish what matters most to us by giving the right amount of effort, not overexerting ourselves to the point of exhaustion. This is what is meant by effortless action. Number 1, define what done looks like. Before you start an important task or project, take 60 seconds to imagine what the end result would look like, what done looks like. Get there and then stop. Once you get a clear idea of what the finished product might look like, it is easier for you to estimate how much time this could possibly take. Having a vague goal in mind, you may end up spending countless hours on unimportant details or unnecessary steps which may not matter much in the end. Let's say you are about to write an essay for a school project and need to do some research first. Instead of spending many hours researching on the internet and not getting anywhere close to getting started on writing the actual essay, how about trying to limit yourself to 3 to 4 good sources of references and determine if that is enough for you to get started on this essay without reading too much into unnecessary details. You can always do more research if needed along the way. Number 2, start. The first obvious action. Sometimes the main reason we procrastinate on an important task or project is because we get overwhelmed thinking about all the steps involved in the process, how complicated it can get to reach our goal. That's when it might be easy for us to overlook the first obvious step we can take to get started. When you name the first obvious step, you avoid spending too much mental energy thinking about the next 20 steps. When you adopt this strategy, all you have to focus on is the very first step. It ignites a subsequent surge of focused, effortless action. Let's say your room is in a mess and you meant to clean it up many times this week but never got around to doing it. Or maybe it has become too overwhelming of a task for you to get started and you ended up procrastinating for days. How about try this? Right at this moment, choose one thing you can quickly organize in your room. It can be anything, no matter how small the task is. For example, put your clean laundry away or tidy up your desk or even just make your bed. See how you feel after this first step is done. Do you feel more motivated to continue cleaning your room? Number 3, simplify. Start with 0. A useful reminder from the book is that not everything needs the extra mile. Start at 0 and try to figure out the absolute minimum number of steps required to achieve the desired outcome. Sometimes you realize that the whole process is less complex than what you initially thought, and the final results are the same, or sometimes even better. An interesting example I found from the book was how Amazon's one-click order process was invented. In 1998, Jeff Bezos called a meeting to discuss the checkout process on his fast-growing e-commerce site. To place an order, customers have to go through a lengthy series of steps, just like any other typical online ordering system at the time. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. Bezos said, "We need something to make the ordering system frictionless. We need to make it so the customer can order products with the least amount of effort. They should be able to click on one thing and it's done." The one-click solution seemed obvious. However, Hartman, an intelligent and passionate programmer, had at this point spent 2 to 3 months working on streamlining and simplifying each individual step of the checkout process and hadn't at all thought to try removing the steps to make the process itself simpler. In the end, Amazon filed a patent for the one-click process, giving them a huge advantage over online competitors. Number 4, progress. The courage to be rubbish. Overachievers tend to struggle with the notion of starting with something imperfect. They hold themselves to a high standard of perfection at every stage in the process, but the standard to which they hold themselves is neither realistic nor productive. This pattern of thinking leads to a lot of unnecessary stress and can hamper our progress, since we're stuck at making things perfect in every stage rather than looking at the project or task as a whole. As McKeown said in the book, remind yourself, every great achievement is rubbish at the beginning. Number 5, pace. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. McKeown said, when we're trying to achieve something that matters to us, it's tempting to want to sprint out of the gate. The problem is that going too fast at the beginning will almost always slow us down the rest of the way. Instead, we can create the right range. I will never do less than X, never more than Y. Finding the right range keeps us moving at a steady pace so we can make consistent progress without getting burnout. For example, your goal is to exercise more often, then set a range for yourself. Never less than 10 minutes a day, never more than an hour a day. Or your goal is to complete the first draft of a book. Never less than 500 words a day, never more than 1,000 words a day. Once you can enter the effortless state, it is easier to take effortless action and get effortless results. The book is packed with other useful tips you can apply to your own life. It is worth checking out. I highly recommend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.